Good afternoon. This is the very latest we have for you now at 4 o'clock. I'm Yvonne Okwara Matole. We'd like to begin with the members of the One Kenya Alliance affiliate parties who are still streaming into Naivasha ahead of the commencement of their two-day retreat. The One Kenya Alliance Technical Committee will present its report detailing, among others, the party manifesto, symbol, campaign strategy, and also the mode of selecting its possible flag bearer. The party leaders of the respective parties are set to arrive this evening and hold a meeting ahead of the main meeting Tuesday. Chemtai Goin joins me live now from Naivasha with more details. Chemtai?
Well, Yvonne, we are still pitching tent here in Naivasha, Nakuru County. Several leaders have already arrived, most of them members of the parliamentary group representing the various political parties, the affiliate parties in the One Kenya Alliance, that is members of parliament from KANU, from ANC, from Ford Kenya, from Wiper Party. But also, Yvonne, what is information that is reaching us is that ODM leader Raila Odinga is also expected to come to this county, and particularly to join the other One Kenya Alliance party leaders for a meeting. Those details remain scanty, but it is what we are looking out for, because we know there has been a lot of concern by quite a number of members of that party insisting that this time they want to go at it alone. But what we know is that there are plans to incorporate the ODM party leader in the talks, remembering that President Uhuru Kenyatta had last week tried to bring the leaders together, trying to form a united force that will battle it out with Deputy President William Ruto and other candidates who have come out to say they will contest the presidency in 2022. And the president seeking to have all the flag bearers from the different parties that have already expressed interest join hands and support one of them. But also what we know is that there are plans that once the ODM party leader checks in, there will be a bonding session between the party leaders from the other political parties, of course, that is KANU, Wiper Party, ANC, and Ford Kenya, and they will have a meeting with the ODM party leader. The plans are to try and smoothen the rough edges that have been witnessed in the past few weeks. And now, besides that, of course, tomorrow is the D-Day when all the members, of course, the party leaders, the members of the technical committee, the parliamentary group members will be meeting to review the report of the technical committee, which had been tasked to come out with a strategy and sort of come up with a winning formula for the One Kenya Alliance. Part of the details that will be in that report by the technical committee is, of course, proposed party symbols and party colors, the party manifesto, the coalition constitution, the coalition manifesto, and of course strategies on how they will begin traversing different parts of the country, technically the whole part of Kenya, to woo voters and get the much needed votes ahead of the 2022 race. So, Yvonne, it is quite tight here, and we're expecting quite a stormy session, because there are quite a number of leaders who have intimated to us that there are concerns about some of the attendees that will be attending this meeting. And what we know is that also, just looking at the membership of the One Kenya Alliance, it appears that the central part of the country appears not really represented, and we know that Kieni Member of Parliament Kanini Kega will be joining the members there, the principals that are meeting here in Naivasha. Still unclear why he will be there, whether he's there for his own personal interest or whether he's actually championing the ideals of the Jubilee Party. So, Yvonne, we will have our eyes and ears literally on the ground to ensure that we are able to get as much information as we can ahead of the meeting planned for tomorrow, the main part of the meeting, which will commence from early morning, Tuesday morning. Yvonne?
Thank you. Chemtai Goin live from Naivasha, and she'll continue to keep us updated on that even through to tomorrow. President Uhuru Kenyatta today received representatives of the Kenyan contingent to the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. At the meeting, he announced cash rewards of 1 million shillings, 750,000 shillings and 500,000 shillings for the gold, silver and bronze medalists respectively. The head of state further announced a uniform token of 200,000 shillings for all athletes and officials, including the Paralympics team that is currently participating in the delayed Summer Games. The president thanked the Olympians for their outstanding performances that saw Kenya top the African medal chart.
We do our best to ensure we retain our athletes. To ask ourselves why we are losing some of our good people outside. These are questions I think generally we must begin to resolve, working through the Ministry of Education and other ministries to ask them to put a talent from school, to ensure that we are constantly building up our sportsmen and women. But we play clean. And if we win by playing clean and by playing fair, that is not only good for you, but it is also important for our sports.
6 police officers based at Kianjokoma Police Station have been suspended with immediate effect over the death of 2 brothers, Benson Jiru and Emmanuel Mutura, in Kianjokoma in Embu County. The suspension, which was announced by the Inspector General of Police, Hilary Mutyambai, follows the conclusion of investigations by the Independent Police Oversight Authority, which has recommended prosecution and forwarded the file to the Director of Public Prosecution for action. The killing of the 2 young men has elicited sharp reactions from leaders and human rights organizations who've called on the government to crack the whip on the perpetrators.
Found culpable, you'll be dealt with as an individual who violated the law, not the entire service. We are an investigative body. So once we do investigations, we forward that file to ODPP for independent review. If ODPP agrees with our recommendations, particularly if our recommendation is to prosecute, it's really now up to him to present the file before judiciary. Then other processes ideally should kick in. It's not IPOA to ensure those other processes kick in.
9 administrative police officers, including the OCPD from Bahati sub-county, have been interdicted following the deaths of 10 people who consumed illicit brew in Hodi Hodi, Bahati, Nakuru last week. Among those who have been interdicted include the Bahati Deputy County Commissioner Jeffrey Mayama, the Bahati OCPD Bernard Wamugunda, Kiamaina Assistant County Commissioner Isaac Oko, Kiuguni OCS Solomon Wamai, and 2 chiefs from Thayu and Kabatini locations. The Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea says the officers have 21 days to show cause why they should not be sacked.
Tumefanya uchunguzi for the last few days, na wale watu ambao wako culpable kwa sasa ni wale maafisa wetu wa usalama wa Nakuru North, County Security, Sub-County Security Committee ya Nakuru North. Na tungependa kutangaza ifuatavyo ya kwamba Deputy County Commissioner wa Bahati North, Bwana Godfrey Mwami Mayama, ambaye ni Senior DCC, amekuwa interdicted kuanzia leo. Namba 2, Bwana Bernard Wamugunda, ambaye ni Sub-County Police Commander wa Bahati wa Nakuru North kule Bahati, pia amekuwa interdicted leo. SEC wa Kiamaina, ambaye ni DO, Bwana Isaac Oko, amekuwa interdicted. OCS wa Kiugini Police Station, Bwana Solomon Wamai, amekuwa interdicted. Sub-County Sipo Commander Bwana Robert Maina amekuwa interdicted. Interdictions na take effect immediately. Chief, Area Chief na Assistant Chiefs wa sehemu hiyo wamekuwa interdicted pia, na nataka kwa kutuma acting DC leo, acting OCBD atatumwa leo, acting ACC pia, no, not acting ACC, ACC atabadilishwa ile ambayo interdicted, tunatuma ACC mwingine mpya, na tutaanza mipango ya kuweka machief ambao wanaweza kufanya kazi vizuri.
Meru Senator Mithika Linturi has moved to court to stop his arrest and prosecution over alleged attempted rape. He claims that he has gotten hold of a letter dated the 5th of May this year, authored by the DCI, indicating that there is a looming charge of attempted rape against him. According to documents from DCI, a complaint was lodged by a woman who'd gone to Mayan Villas Hotel in Nanyuki with her husband and friends on the 29th of January this year. It is then alleged that the woman retired to their room and left the door open as she'd agreed with the husband, who was still in the company of his friends. But then Linturi entered the room and touched her, quote, in a very unusual manner. Linturi, in his application, says the alleged criminal offences have never been disclosed to him. Business came to a standstill in Tala town as police battled two groups of warring public service vehicles who went on strike this morning. Operators under the Kam and Makata SACCOs blocked roads as early as 4 in the morning, protesting the entry of a new SACCO on the route. They say the new SACCO has introduced lower fares on their route, affecting their business. Police intervened after some of the rowdy conductors and drivers started lighting bonfires on the road to block traffic.
Ile sasa inaendelea ni mchezo. Sisi kama wananchi tunaomba hata SACCO ziongezeke. Haja yetu ni bei iende chini ndio na sisi tuweze kufanya biashara. Kwa hivyo kila tunaweza uliza serikali itie bidii, watu wapewe uhuru wa kufanya biashara, na mtu akichukua leseni ya kuleta SACCO alete Tala ndio watu wapate kulipa pesa kidogo kwenda Nairobi na kwenda Machakos.
Na mimi nashangaa sana hii wiki yote. Maaskari wanakuja stage kupakia magari kama makanga. Ni kama sijui wamelipa pesa ngapi wakujanga stage kushinda hapo kila siku. Magari zetu zinaingizwa ndani, zile zingine zinapepea nje. Sisi hatukatai SACCO nyingine ikuja, lakini haki itendeke ya kila mtu mwanabiashara wa matatu. Kwa kuwa maaskari kutoka asubuhi kila siku wiki mzima wanashinda hapa stage.
Kwa majina naitwa Rafael Maundo. Mimi ni mhudumu wa matatu hapa Tala. Kuna SACCO ambayo imekuja hapa kwa petrol station ya nyingi, inaitwa Naekana SACCO. Naekana SACCO imekuja huku Tala kubeba huku. Sisi kama watu wa Kamsako na Makata hatupewi nafasi ya kubeba Nairobi. Nayo serikali hapa police post ikiongozwa na OCS Nguyo wanakuja kutupiga teargas. Ukiangalia mbele yetu wamepiga gari teargas hapa ndani.
Let's take a look at some regional news now. And go to Zambia, where the Electoral Commission has confirmed that last week's presidential election was won by the opposition candidate Hakainde Hichilema. Hichilema defeated his main rival, who's the outgoing president Edgar Lungu, by more than 1 million votes in his 6th attempt at winning the presidency. Hichilema's supporters have been celebrating on the streets of the capital, Lusaka, even as incumbent Lungu alleged that the elections were not free and fair. He said election officials from his patriotic Front Party had been chased from polling stations, leaving votes unprotected. In response, Hichilema's United Party for National Development said the statement was, quote, the desperate final act of an outgoing administration, end quote. And now to Afghanistan, where there have been scenes of panic at the Kabul Airport as desperate residents try to flee following the seizure of the capital by the Taliban. Latest reports indicate that at least 3 civilians have died in the chaos at the airport, which is being guarded by US troops. Commercial flights have mostly been suspended, stranding hundreds of Afghans and other foreign nationals. On Sunday, the Taliban declared victory after Afghan President Ashraf Ghani fled abroad and his government collapsed. The militants' return to rule brings an end to almost 20 years of a US-led coalition's presence in the country. Kabul was the last major city in Afghanistan to hold out against a Taliban offensive that began months ago. Officials in Haiti have confirmed at least 1,297 people are dead after a powerful 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit the Caribbean nation on Saturday. Rescuers are picking through rubble in a desperate search for any survivors, with officials saying 5,700 have been injured and an unknown number of people missing. Homes, churches and schools were among buildings flattened in the quake, and hospitals were left overwhelmed and in need of supplies. The disaster compounds problems already facing the impoverished nation, which is already reeling from a political crisis following the assassination of its president last month.